Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Thursday, October the 30th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith with you as always, and we are joined here today on the show by someone that was with us for the Carolina Hurricanes season preview video. We did 32 teams in 32 days, season preview videos for every NHL team before the season started, and we had David join us for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's from Raleigh, North Kakalaki. He goes to pretty much every Carolina home game as a season ticket holder, and he is back here today for the first time making his live show debut to break down every game on this Thursday slate. David, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
So talk about, just before we get into the card today, just the vibe at Carolina games, just reiterate, because I think you spoke about it on the season preview video, but in case someone didn't see it, just how many years you've been going to Canes games, how long you've been a season ticket holder, and just your fandom of the team.
Yeah, I mean, I've been going to games, most of the games every year since the tough days right after the 2009 season. I mean, I was from 2009 to 2018. It wasn't very pretty, but I was still there and been there for most every game the last few years as well.
No doubt. And like I said, Alex is having some tech issues. We'll get him going in just a moment. But nevertheless, yeah, I mean, it's been a fun team to watch. It's been a team that's been close, but not quite been able to get over the hump. I just wanted to point out, too, I should have mentioned this, David, before the show, but we do a segment at the end of the show. We do best bet, so I'm sure you're fine with that, picking a best bet for that. But we do bargain bin special of the night segment, and that's a plus 300 or better price prop, your favorite one that you like. So think of one for that segment.
I got you. I already got one. I got ready.
Excellent. I knew you would. So, yeah, I forgot to mention that bargain bin special. That's one of our favorites. The viewers and listeners love it. We've had pretty good success. I mean, we've done a nice job finding some of these great player prop value spots. But Thursday card is big, so I'll be brief with the game we saw last night. And it was a great game from a betting standpoint for yours truly. We had the over by Fecta in the Leafs and Blue Jackets last night, over 1.5 first period, over 6.5 full game. It's now unbelievable. It's just stupid. The track record now of these games going over the total with Caden Primo starting in net.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable now. That's his last night for Toronto. That was his 14th start in net in the last two seasons combined between Montreal last year, Toronto this year. And in all 14 Caden Primo starts, we have seen 7 or more total goals scored in the game. And all 14 of those starts have gone over the total. And it happened again last night, as obviously the Blue Jackets put a pretty good beating on the Leafs, 6-3 last night. The final score is kind of flattering to the Leafs because it was 6-1 at one point in that game. But it was an ugly night for Primo. There's a couple goals where it wasn't all his fault. The defense without Tanev continues to struggle for the Leafs. But at the same point in time, there was a short side goal that he gave up. Primo, that he's got to stop, early in that game. And it still was not a great situation at all for him as far as his performance in net. I think when you look, too, at the Leafs, like I said, without Tanev, they've been hurting on the blue line. It's a Columbus team as well that's got the firepower to make you pay when you turn over the puck and you're a little bit lackluster in net. And that's obviously what they were able to do. Toronto just, it's unfortunate because Toronto got it to 2-1. And the guy that scored the goal was Sammy Blais, who entered the lineup in place of an injured William Nylander. So nice to see him get on the board, his first game with the Leafs. And then they were really all over Columbus. And Merzlikins had to make a couple saves, but it felt like the Leafs, they had the edge in shots at the time. They were really carrying the play. It looked like they were going to tie the game. And then just down the ice against the flow of play, Columbus goes and they make it 3-1. And it felt like that took a lot of the air out of the balloon, if you will, for the Leafs. And they never really recovered from that. 3-1 became 4-1, became 5-1. And then Columbus eventually gets the 6-3 win. A bit of a hollow moment late in the game for the Leafs where John Tavares gets his 500th NHL goal. He gets it in a losing cause with the game out of reach. But nevertheless, he does get his 500th goal. So congratulations to John Tavares for that 500th goal plateau. So a 6-3 win for Columbus. And like I said, more issues for the Leafs. I know they had a good game against Calgary, but they're not able to put good wins in a row together. That's the problem right now, Toronto. Just mired in this 500 or slightly below start to the season that continues with that loss last night. I think Alex's connection is back. We got the Al Jazeera feed out of there.
Hopefully.
The Al Jazeera transmission is finally gone, and I think we've got Alex ready to rock and roll with great clarity, and we can hear him great. So, Alex, with that in mind, thoughts on Leafs Jackets last night?
Did not watch the game. I just got the highlights. Like I said, kind of with a primo start, it would still be more of the same goals galore, and that's certainly the case. So at some point, I'm expecting probably the next primo start, we could possibly see some sevens pop up. That's a note that I did make. And
my guess is he's not getting another start because Joe Woll is close to returning as Stolar's backup, and the moment that happens, down you go to Caden Primo.
Oh yeah, back to the Marlies. But I'm saying, but at some point, maybe even if he gets called up again at some point, the notes now are going to be 6.5, 7s with Primo probably for the foreseeable future. Whether, like I said, he sticks around here or he ends up having to come back at some point. But and like I said, there's no reason to have to bring him back if you can keep both of your guys healthy. But Toronto, like we've seen these spots for so long where they just come out flat in games where you feel like, okay, they should win this, and this is gone past. This isn't coaching. This isn't, you can't blame Marner for this kind of loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where they have to just all look at each other and say, hey, we dropped this game. And it's okay to have those, flubs in October and December and even, late February. But you have to make sure they don't snowball into making those kind of mistakes in game 2, game 4, game 6 of a postseason series too. And so that's the one thing. They don't have these losses as often as they normally do. We don't see them completely crater being a big favorite like we did during the Keith era. But the fact that it's still happening, I guess I can see where some Leafs fans would be a little ticked off at that game last night.
Yeah, no doubt. And the saving grace for the Leafs is that the Toronto Blue Jays are just taking all the oxygen in the room right now in the Toronto sports scene with their run to a potential World Series championship, one win away from a title, that it's kind of, getting people's distracted a bit from the fact the Leafs have been so up and down.
But now, wouldn't this be interesting? Let's say the Jays go in and finish it off, be it tomorrow night or Saturday night. And now, does that ramp up even more pressure actually on the Leafs? Because, hey, Jays just won a title for the first time in 32 years. We already got our Raptors banner. Where are you guys? It might actually work in the opposite, where we talk about teams, running off of that momentum. We've seen championships in baseball or championships, from a sport crossover to another sport and sense of momentum. The Cleveland then called Indians when the Cavs won the championship, going like a 15-game win streak. We've seen that momentum happen, but with how the Toronto media is, could that possibly be just another brick on the wall of pressure that's with the Maple Leafs if the Jays go on and win, and I say, all right, we need a title from the other blue team in town?
Yeah, so I think that's why Marner ran off to Vegas. He doesn't have much competition.
Yeah, that's that. And yeah, he's not being hounded by 20 fucking media people every day. That's a big part of it. We know that was definitely something that he was not thrilled about. David, you got fans in this YouTube chat. My goodness. There's Steve and Ben saying, can't wait to hear from Steve. He's getting his moment. Well, he's earned his moment. That's why he's on this show. We get great talent. We get great people on this show. So he's earned it for sure. So with that in mind, David, any thoughts on last night? I know you swept that game. You had Jackets in the over.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was all over that. Had the Jackets, the over, the parlay of the two, the Jackets team total over for a bit. I mean, it's Primo. It's kind of, you can see why the Canes dumped him for Bussy not too long ago. I mean, he's struggling, and I mean, I think we got to give the Blue Jackets a little bit of credit on offense too. I think they have the most expected goals per game in the league right now per Money Puck. They're flying. So I think it was a great spot and it worked out very nicely. But I didn't end up watching the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, can we say that's a massive pickup too for Carolina, Brandon Bussy, who more than likely will be starting tonight? Yeah. The fact that you had Caden Primo as your third string guy going into camp, but then you were able to make that flip around to get Bussy, and now here's Bussy coming up to the big club and stepping up. That's a hell of a move by Carolina's front office. So.
Yeah, no job. Tulsky deserves.
Yeah, you can see the talent there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah, he's a young guy. He's going to have his ups and downs, but I think there's still way more upside and ceiling for him.
Even if it was just an AHL level move, Bussy was a much bigger upgrade than Primo. So to have that and now have it, coming out. So
yeah,
I think he could honestly be an NHL starter. I think he moves the way he plays goalie. He plays the same as all the other elite goalies, most of the Russians. I mean, he's tall and he can move really well. So honestly, I hope that's the answer to our future, but you just never know.
And we never know. And plus, we still don't know how long this Kochetkov injury is going to be for Carolina. Still on IR. And again, Rod Brindamore's not running Freddie Anderson in the regular season into the ice. He's just not going to do that. So it's important they have a guy that's ready to get a bunch of starts as your second goalie, whether that's Bussy currently or Kochetkov when he comes back from injury. No question about that. All right, let's get into Thursday's card. It's a big one. We'll begin with Buffalo-Boston. Sabres -120 road favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. Bruins beating the Islanders 5-2 in their last game, bouncing back from getting shellacked by the Ottawa Senators in their game before that. Boston, to me, I consider them a non-playoff team. I consider them a below average to bad hockey team. And I've said this a bunch about multiple sports. I don't like betting on bad teams off a win. Off a win, I don't love betting on bad teams. And Boston, to me, is not a team I always trust to put good performances together. And plus, they're good. There's a very interesting decision by Marco Sturm, first-year head coach of the Bruins. Jonas Korpisalo's back in net tonight. He is not giving Jeremy Swayman an opportunity to bounce back from getting drubbed by Ottawa. It's back to Korpisalo, who, of course, was in net for that 5-2 victory against the Islanders. Although I'm still not sold on Korpisalo, let's be honest. I mean, he played better in that game, but he had, still got a losing record with him starting this season, 2-3. The numbers still aren't great. He'd given up 3 goals or more in a majority of his starts before shutting down the Islanders. So I don't fully trust him here. Buffalo, I'll say this about Buffalo. We all left them for dead. Let's be honest, we were all lowering the casket on Buffalo after the first 2 games of the season. And then Tage Thompson saying we're sick of this stuff, same old stuff going on. But they've played some good hockey lately. They had a 4-game home win streak. It got snapped, obviously, by the other night by the Columbus Blue Jackets with that overtime loss. And back-to-back overtime losses for Buffalo. So, yeah, even though they've dropped 2 in a row, they lost in Toronto in overtime after beating Toronto at home. And then they lost a tough one against Columbus 4-3 in overtime where they had a lead in the third period. They probably should have closed that one out. Alex Lyon has been, I think, solid in net for the Sabres. And right now, he gives them at least a puncher's chance in most nights. There you go, Jonathan saying 4 of his 5 games. I've had 7 or more goals with Korpisalo in net. That could be a look to the over possibly in this game. And I think the over might be worth a look. I might dabble in that over by Fecta small. But the primary bets for me, for the first time, I think this season, I'm on the Sabres. I'm taking Buffalo here, -120, and I'm just going to split it up with the team total, which I can get over 3 at -130. I'm going to just be a little bit safer with the team total. You could opt to take over 3.5 at plus money with the Sabres. I'm just going to get the 3. I'll lay the -130 and think that the Sabres can get me at least 3 goals, preferably 4 tonight in this game to be able to cash that. So maybe a small over by Fecta. At this point, I might wait live to bet it just to get better prices. But pregame, I'm on Buffalo -120 and the Sabres team total over 3. Alex, what do you think here? Sabres Bruins.
Yeah, this is I wouldn't say a live heavy card for me, but there's a couple of spots that I like as far as live betting tonight. This being one of them. This is just a bit of a steep number, and I get where giving Korpisalo the start. This isn't the worst of ideas. Let him build on and try and get some confidence under him. And a Buffalo team certainly is usually a team where you'll see a club throw their backup in to try and get some confidence. Like any bottom feeder. So maybe if that can be the kind of momentum spot they're looking for. Like I said, I just don't know. I don't trust in him. And Lyon, I still don't really trust in him either. I think there's going to be goals back and forth here. This is one where I'll be looking for a team to score next. It could be kind of a zigzag kind of feel to a game. So I want to wait and see, but I definitely have over by Fecta circled live for this contest.
David, what do you like here? Buffalo, Boston.
Yeah, I think it's a great spot for Buffalo here off of 2 back-to-back OT losses. I mean, they kind of impressed me like the last 6 or 7 games. The last 7 games, they got a positive half goal, even strength expected goal differential per game. I mean, I think they're just playing a lot better. you look at Boston, I just think they're kind of lost right now. I mean, they're going with Korpisalo tonight. I mean, he's very low on my board of goalies right now. And honestly, Lyon has been kind of impressive. He's saving 0.6 goals above expected per game. I mean, it's early, but I mean, he's not a guy I love, but I think he's above average. And yeah, Korpisalo with minus 0.6 goals saved above expected as well. I think it's a really good spot for Buffalo.
David, to your point there, I'm just looking at the goals saved above average, GSAA. Some people call it goals saved above expected, but we've got Korpisalo out of 68 goalies ranked 55th. That's not good.
No.
You know?
Yeah, it's early, but I mean, his numbers have not been great in the last couple of years anyway. I think he's a good guy to fade. I like the over as well, but I got Buffalo at plus 110 yesterday afternoon, but I honestly still like it at minus 120.
You know what's great about this category of goals saved above average? I'm looking at the bottom guys. Some of them are not shocking at all. Like Caden Primo being second last. That's not one bit fucking shocking. Not at all. Not one bit. Sam Montembeault being third last. It's not that surprising because we've talked about how he struggled. Joel Hofer being fourth from the bottom. That's not that surprising. You know what is a bit surprising, though? Our guy, and we love him, hungry like the wolf. Dustin Wolf is 63rd right now in goals saved above average. He is like sixth from the bottom. Now, he did play a lot better against Toronto the other night, but before that, he had struggled. Dead last right now, there's actually someone that's worse than Primo. Dead last in goals saved above average. It's actually Linus Ullmark for Ottawa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's struggling.
And see, and here's the thing. That's why you have to, don't put too much lemon pepper on the chicken, basically. It is a seasoning. We know that Linus Ullmark, eventually his numbers are going to come back up. Like you said, Jonas Korpisalo has had brutal numbers for a while. Alex Lyon is a guy that you have to take sparingly because he's used sparingly. So you have to still use these numbers and statistics situationally. You can't just blanketly go by, he's up here or down here on goal save above average, and then we roll with that with goaltending. You have to add that into other current form statistics, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point there. No question about. I want to see where Lyon is actually right now on this list because he's ninth. He's 5.2. He's plus 5.2. Yeah. Lyon. I know Lyon's been solid. That's why I said I think he's been solid. He's been very good at times. I remember he shut out his old team, Florida, earlier this year in a home win. So yeah, he's been the better of these two
solid
goalies.
8-game sample.
Yeah,
I mean it's not a huge sample, but I think 8 games is enough to get a little bit of read on him.
Yeah, it's always, we want more data points. As handicappers, as bettors, we want more data points. We want more games under the belt, a bigger sample size to draw from and make decisions. But we've seen enough games now where there has been a gap between Lyon and Korpisalo. We'll see if that gap in between the pipes shows up tonight in that game. All right, Calgary and Ottawa. We've got Ottawa minus 170, home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. We talked about how the dead last goal saved above expected goaltender is starting tonight for Ottawa and Linus Ullmark. That being said, Calgary, I'm not enamored with backing them, especially with Devin Cooley in net. We've only seen Devin Cooley once, and he actually was okay against Utah. Very good, in fact. Remember that Utah game where it could have been a lot worse if not for his performance against Utah. But I have to see more. This has still been a goalie that's struggled to make it to the NHL level. He's been primarily an American Hockey League goalie for years, Devin Cooley. So would definitely like to see more before putting a boatload of confidence and trust and faith in him. You've got Ottawa off that beatdown against Chicago. Well, it was a beatdown early. Then it was all of a sudden very close. And then all of a sudden we saw the Blackhawks pull away all over again and win that game by a score of 7-3 the other night against Ottawa. That stopped a 3-game win streak for the Senators. They had been playing better. 3 straight overs, by the way, for Ottawa. 3 straight overs for Calgary as well. This Flames team, Alex and I were talking about them early in the season, game after game. They just can't put a puck in the ocean, and their offense was just dormant. 2 goals or less in every game. The funny part now, guys, is that last 3 games they're starting to score now. Puck's starting to go in. 13 goals in the last 3 games. Problem is their defense is getting bad now. They're giving up more goals. They gave up 5 to Winnipeg, 4 to the Leafs in a loss the other night. And now they got Cooley in net. And I know Wolf hasn't had a great start, but I think the problem in Calgary is linked just as much to the blue line issues and the defense as it is the goaltender. So I don't know if Cooley's going to play great. I don't know if with a blue line and it's not below average, in my opinion. I like Anderson and I like Weegar, and I might take them on my team in certain aspects if I can't get some of the cream of the crop blue line and put them on my team. Maybe I'll go after an Anderson or a Weegar, but those are the only two guys I would even consider putting on my team from the blue line. The rest of that blue line's a mess, in my opinion. I got in on the 5.5 very quickly because I said, if once Cooley's confirmed, this is going to move. And I got over 5.5 at -135. And it's 6 now. I still like the over, though. That's the bet for me in this one. I think we'll see some goals, and both teams are scoring, and Flames defense starting to regress. And just Cooley, I don't trust. And Allmark, as we mentioned, has had a rough start to the year, dead last in expected goals saved above expected so far this season in the NHL. Alex, what do you think here? Calgary, Ottawa.
Yeah, it's funny. I got 6 minus $1.05 when those 5.5s were around. So I liked the 6 and played that early because I figured, like I said, we would see that move. And now you're seeing some 6.5s even pop up. So by all means, shop around for the best of the number. You can also tie it with a parlay, which I did play a little small. I like Ottawa tied to the over 4.5 minus $1.10 is the price that I see it. BetMGM, of course, you can combine those at other shops. But like I said, Cooley's the guy who I'm waiting for his regression. I feel like this could be a back and forth kind of a game. Calgary's defense is just brutal, and Ottawa, there was lapses in their defense, obviously against Chicago as well. I don't see that clearing up anytime soon. So definitely hitting the over here.
I forgot to mention one prop I liked in the Boston game. 5 straight games with a goal from Morgan Geekie. We just got to ride it at this point, +210. And still a pretty good price. Not a bargain bin worthy price, but still +210 for a guy that scored in 5 straight games. I mean, why not? And in this game, Timmy Stützle for Ottawa has scored in a couple of games in a row. Keep in mind with that. Going back to the well with Nick Cousins, you guys know that. We've hit a couple big plus prices with him playing with Stützle and Batherson on the top line. +700 it was. Plus, we thought, remember on the BetCast on Tuesday, we thought he scored one of Ottawa's goals, but it didn't go off him. It was Sanderson's goal. We thought we had 2 back-to-back bargain bin special winners with Nick Cousins on that top line at +700. But still just the one goal, but he's right there getting chances, getting good looks, and he's got great value to score again for Ottawa tonight up on that top line. David, what do you think here? Flame Sens.
Yeah, I got Flames +150. I played it yesterday, saw it kind of tick down to around the +130 mark until Cooley was called in for Wolf. I mean, Wolf kind of said those things about the forwards for the Flames. I don't know if you saw that, but I don't know if there was a little bit of animosity there, but I mean, I don't know. I think they might be a little pumped up to get a good one for Cooley here. I mean, they've played well. They just kind of went through a little gauntlet. Their last 8 games were against the Leafs, Rangers, Jets, Canadians, Jets again, Golden Knights, Mammoth, and then Golden Knights again. I mean, that's kind of
this is a brutal strength of schedule. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow for Calgary.
And I mean,
wow.
in those 8 games, they still put together an average of plus 0.6 expected goals at 5-on-5 play per game. I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing. I think this is a good buy low spot on them. And honestly, I don't really agree with the move on Wolf being pulled out. It kind of jumped back up 20 cents. And he's honestly, his last 3 years, he's about exactly even in goal saved above average. So I don't know. I don't know if he's really worth that 20 cents. I mean, Cooley, I don't really know what to expect at it. I mean, I don't think it's worth that drop off. So I'm happy taking the +150 here.
I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not laying -170 with Ottawa. I can tell you that. My only concern about taking Calgary is that Ottawa's off the blowout loss to Chicago. But like I said, I just don't want to lay this kind of a price with them. Like I said, I like Nick Cousins for Ottawa as far as a goal prop. For Calgary, the one I like is Morgan Frost. Morgan Frost is going up on the top line with Huberdeau and Kadri. He's got on a 4-game point streak right now for the Flames. And he scored on that top line the other night against Toronto. +390 is the best price out there for Morgan Frost to find the back of the net. And you can still get Cousins despite being on the top line. The price has dropped a little bit, but still +620 is out there for Nick Cousins to find the back of the net. So that's tremendous value for a guy playing on the top line.
Yeah.
Got to take that shot.
Yeah.
See that.
I think another thing to look at is Olmark. I mean, I don't really know if this is a goaltending advantage for the Sens. I mean, he's saving a full goal under expected per game so far. I mean, like I said, it's early, but I don't really know if that's an advantage for them right now.
Yeah, Linus Ullmark in his top form is better than Cooley, but Linus Ullmark in October of this current season, not so much the advantage with the way he's played. That's a fair point. Yeah, I mean the comments, Jonathan, that David's alluding to was when Wolf said, I can't score goals, or but I don't think he meant to throw his team under the bus. But still, it's like one of these, you're tiptoeing along a tightrope, when you're making comments like that, because it does. Some people would construe it as kind of throwing your offense and your forwards under the bus a little bit, but he's got to play better too. He holds some culpability. He's got some culpability too. Dustin Wolf for the sluggish start.
Yeah, I more meant like it's a little. I bet the forwards think it's a little ironic when he's saving. He's got like a -9 goals saved above average right now. I'm sure his teammates might think it's a little ironic that he's making those comments right now.
Yeah. All right, next game's a good one.
Wait, here's the thing too. It doesn't necessarily. Okay, it is ironic that he's making those comments about the forwards can't score. But here's the biggest thing, and just to wrap it back up to what we've been saying the whole time, it's the blue liners. He can't get out there and create active sticks between the circles. He can only stop the shots that's in the crease as well. So it's a collective. And at the end of the day, Calgary's offensive issues have carried over from last season. So you can't really give him shit for calling them out when he's really been the only consistent piece, even when he's been inconsistent.
The only stick.
I agree. I mean, he was the best player on their team last year.
Bingo.
He's the best player now. One of them.
This is probably true. Yeah. But just speaking from inside that locker room, I think they might get a little bit of jump from having Cooley in there.
They certainly did the first game. I know they lost to Utah, but Utah, he played a heck of a game against. I got to see more, though. I got to see him do that again, quite honestly. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see. Matt Coronado, is he scratched? Good question. Let me just check the lineups right now. He is. He's out again. Sharon Govich and Klapka and Farabee is the second line for Calgary tonight. So, yeah, no Coronado tonight so Ryan Huska, not thrilled with some elements of his game of late. All right, this is one of the games of the night for sure. Dallas and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay -150, home favorite, 6 the total here in this game. Anytime I see Dallas at this price, I'm very tempted to take them, at +130. That being said, Tampa, after the bad start, they've won 3 in a row. They've started to get their game going. Vasilevsky's playing a little bit better. And Dallas has won 3 in a row too, but Dallas, they beat Carolina with a banged-up blue line. Nashville, it's not anything to write home about. Washington in a 1-0 game. So, I don't know. I kind of said a few games ago during the losing streak, we're going to not bet Dallas for a bit. Now, last year, it was Dallas winning in Tampa, Tampa winning in Dallas, so the road team won both meetings. It's Ottinger and Vasilevsky, the goaltending matchup, great matchup. I have a mild lean to Dallas, but I don't expect to really get involved with it. Just a lean to the Stars, probably a no-bet game for me, at least pregame when it comes to this one. Alex, what do you think here, Dallas, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, like I said, just got to kind of wait and see with these two teams. This normally would be a game that we'd be stoked about with these two teams if they were in their usual forms. But, this is one where I can wait and, like I said, look for something if it pops up. If not, and just move along with it.
And there's the stat that Jonathan mentioned. Jonathan cashed with it on the BetCast on Tuesday the other night, cashing Dallas under 0.5 in the first period, their team total. Dallas 6 straight games without a first period goal. So keep that in mind. They have not started off hot offensively for many games in a row. Again, 6 straight without a goal in the opening period for Dallas. David, what do you like in here, if anything? Stars, Lightning.
Yeah, I got the Lightning -142. I think it's up. I think -145, -150 in the market right now. But I think this is a really good spot for them. I'm kind of low on the Stars, to be honest. I mean, they've won 3 straight really close games. Beat my Canes when.
Don't let us ever have David on the show when Matt Robinson's with us after a comment like that. Big Stars fan. Go ahead.
Oh, you know why I don't like the Stars right now, but
yeah.
But no, I think they're a good. I think they're a good team to bet against right now. I mean, they've had some good fortune in some close games, which I mean, you can't take that away from them. But yeah, I think it's a good spot for Tampa. Their last 6 games, they got a positive 9 goals expected goal margin, plus 4.5 at 5-on-5. I honestly think they've righted the ship. I bought low on them and have taken them the last few games. I think this is another spot to do it.
Yeah, obviously they had a bad start. 1-6, and Vasilevsky was struggling. And keep in mind, majority of those games were without Nikita Kucherov. They got him back, and now you're starting to see they're scoring goals again. The team is just starting to play better hockey all around. It's amazing what difference one player can make, and if that's just all the evidence you need, how much Kucherov is such a factor here as far as the Tampa Bay Lightning and their success is concerned. Prop-wise for this game, not too much. Like I said, as far as this game, this could be an under. It wouldn't shock me. Actually, this is one game where I'd probably lean under a little bit. 4-game point streak for Mikko Rantanen coming into this game. Hagel, 2 straight games with a goal for the Lightning. Kucherov, 2 straight games for a goal. John Cooper raved about the Zemgus-Girgensson line after their last game that they won. It was against, I believe, Nashville. 5-2. Said that line was our best line. And he said it's been times our best line the last couple games. That's Holmberg, Gord, and Girgensson. That's their 4th line. Keep an eye on them. Maybe longer shot prop value on those 3 moving forward. Because, we believe what the coach says. That's been a great line for them. So there might be value in props for Yanni Gord, Pontus Holmberg, Zemgus Girgensson moving forward. So something to keep an eye on. I might dabble in some of their props here tonight. All right, Nashville, Philadelphia. Flyers -150, home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. The Flyers getting a nice home win on the Frozen Frenzy night Tuesday against Pittsburgh. That was a fun game, actually. It got a little nasty, a little scrum at the end of the game. Even Trevor Zegras, of all people, getting involved in the scrum. Trevor Zegras, his idea of getting involved in that scrum, though, was just, slap someone in the back of the helmet, but still, at least he's getting involved. That you like to see. I'm sure endear himself to the Flyer fans who love the rough stuff, going back to the Broad Street Bullies days. But Philadelphia, back-to-back shootout wins against the Islanders and the Penguins. They've won 4 of their last 5. Rick Tockett's got them playing solid team structure, solid team defense. Their penalty kill has been pretty good to begin the year. Nashville, there's not much to like on the flip side right now. 3-7 their last 10 games, back-to-back losses at home against Tampa Bay and Dallas. We'll see how they fare here. I like the way Philly's going. Nashville's been bad on the road, 1-3. Philly 5-1 at home. This has all of a sudden been a good place for them here, playing at home. They won last year, both meetings against Nashville, in Nashville, and they also won here at home against the Predators. I like the Flyers here, but I don't like the price, -150. So I'm going to look for the Flyers live pregame, or in-game, I should say. I'm going to look for them live in-game at a plus price. But what I will bet pregame, and I don't do this very often, but I noticed with Nashville, they've lost 7 games. 6 of the 7 Nashville losses, they have scored 2 goals or less in 6 of the 7 losses. The only loss they scored more than 2 goals was against Toronto, where they lost 7-4. And who's in net that night? Oh, yeah, Caden Primo, who's one of the worst goalies right now in the NHL this year, statistically. So that's the only time Nashville in a losing effort scored above 2 goals. So I'm going to bet Nashville team total under in this game. Nashville team total under 2.5 +100. I think that's a very good look, and it's a way to bet Philly without laying that -150. So Predators team total under 2.5 +100 with Vladar and net, who's been very good so far this year for the Flyers. I'd say he's even been slightly better than Sam Ersson this year so far for Philly. Alex, what do you think here? Preds, Flyers.
I like this draw quite a bit. We've seen back-to-back OT games with Philly. We've seen 3 of the last 5 meetings with these 2 teams go past regulation. And we've seen a lot of low and slow hockey. So I get why you'd be looking at a Preds team total under. This is trended within the series. They have struggled offensively. And I can see this being kind of a tight, close game. So at +340, I'm taking a shot with the draw. I'm going Owen Tippett to score the overtime game winner at 60-1 at FanDuel as well.
Good stuff. All right, David, what do you like here, Preds and Flyers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very low on this Preds team. I mean, you look at last year, they were getting priced to their expected numbers, where they had a 50% expected goal share, and their actual goal share was only 40%. And I mean, if you watch their games, they are not anything close to what their analytics say. I mean, I think that the market is playing too closely to how they should be performing. And I mean, if you watch their games, they are not good. And so I'm looking at the Flyers pretty good here. And I think Vladar over Urson is a massive upgrade. I mean, he's outperformed him a ton. Urson, he's had his shot. It's been too long. I mean, this is his second year of just being horrendous. So I think if they can get their guy, I mean, that's what they were missing last year. They had no goaltending. I think they got it this year, and I think they can turn it around a little bit.
No doubt. Like I said, I think I like Vladar too. I like Vladar. I still think Harrison could. I'm holding out hope because I had some good hope for Harrison, but you're right. He's still got to get better. And right now, I would say Darth Vladar, as I call him, Dan Vladar's been off to a solid start for the Flyers. Probably outplayed him a little bit. I agree with that. As far as props here, I'm going with Mr. Brink, Bobby Brink here. You're getting him in that plus 370 range. He scored in 33% of Philadelphia's games so far this season. He scored in the last game for them. So, like I said, I think there's a solid value here with him to find the back of the net. Just because of his spot with Ryan O'Reilly and Philip Forsberg on the top line for Nashville, I don't think they're going to score a ton of goals tonight, but Matthew Wood is plus 540 up on that top line for Nashville. They got to sprinkle a couple bucks on that. Anytime I see a top line player at the plus 540 mark to score a goal, you got to take a little small bite of that, and I did just that. All right, it's David's team. Here we go. Next up, Islanders and Hurricanes. We've got Carolina minus 220 home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. And by the way, Roman Josi still out for Nashville. Devastating loss. Hurts a blue line that needs him badly on it, so doesn't make matters any easier for Nashville, of course. This game, it's been the gift that keeps on giving for a lot of us. A lot of our viewers and listeners have been riding it too. Islander overs. They've just kept cashing and cashing and cashing this season. The New York Islanders entering this game tonight, 8-1 to the over in their 9 games, and all 9 games have had at least 6 goals so far this season, coming off a 5-2 loss to Boston in their last game. And we've talked about it. We'll just reiterate it quickly. The reason why the Islanders are suddenly a big over team after years of kind of being the opposite, their offense is good enough. It's probably better than it's been in recent years. Horvat, has gotten off to a great start. They've had a lot of different people chip in offensively. And the combination of they're just much worse defensively, the Islanders. And why is that? Romanov, to me, I don't see him as a top pair defenseman. Now, they don't have him in the top pair tonight anymore, but that was puzzling. Adam Pelech and Ryan Pulock, who have been injury-riddled messes for the last few years, aren't the same defensemen. They are not as good defensively as they once were. Matthew Schaefer's excellent, but he's still growing. He's, that's a lot on his plate. Scott Mayfield's not overly fast. D'Angelo's a liability in his own end sometimes defensively and takes dumb penalties at times when a screw ends up loose in his brain. Look out. He's going to take a bad penalty on you. So that's not a great blue line. Way worse than we've seen in the past. And the goaltending has struggled. Sorokin's not been good. And David Riddick, big Civ Dave, we don't trust. And he's going to get the start here tonight for the Islanders. So put it all together, and they've been the perfect over team. And then you counter that with Carolina. We know when they're healthy, this is a terrific defensive team. But right now, Jacob Slavin, the tower of power, the pillar of strength, the beast on the blue line is out. The goals against have gone up. The danger chances have gone up. They're giving up more chances. They're spending more time in the defensive zone without Slavin. And now without K'Andre Miller, who got off to a great start to the season as well. It's made it even worse. I don't think Gostisbehere is going to be in tonight either for Carolina. So you're looking at tonight for the Hurricanes. Yeah, he's out too. Nikishin, Walker, Chatfield. Nice. Now, here's where it gets dicey. Joel Nystrom, Mike Riley, Charles Alexis Legault. I mean, that's your 4, 5, 6. That's where it gets thin for Carolina. And that's why, look at even Vegas was doing things we never see when Carolina's healthy and playing well defensively, like hemming them in, mistakes, odd man rushes. Look at the odd man rushes Carolina's given up these last couple games too. Not typical of them. So I'm on the over by Fecta. Carolina, thanks to the Chris Otto charts, 5-game first period over streak for Carolina. So I'm on first period over 1.5, full game over. I got it at 5.5, believe it or not, very early. 6 was there too, and now it's mostly 6.5. The one caveat is Matthew Barzal who is on a point streak for the Islanders and a big catalyst as to why they've been a good offensive team. He is a healthy scratch, showed up late to the rink, and Patrick Waugh punishing him as a result. So he will not be in the lineup tonight for the Islanders, but we're still riding the Islander overs. They keep cashing. Hopefully everyone else can step up for them here tonight. Alex, Islanders, Hurricanes.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking about this before we got on air. I was saying about how this is a good live spot for me for the over by effective. But like I said, when you see now these sixes have moved to 6.5s even, certainly would need to wait. I've seen 152s for the over 1.5s. You could go flat over 2 in the first period, plus 125 at MGM. I actually might sprinkle a little bit on that and then try and catch a little bit of a cheaper price with that 1.5 live. But like I said, it just seems to be like this is going to be a goal fest. I am seeing a decent price with Isles team total over 2.5 minus 115. So I will be playing that pregame. But one where I don't really necessarily look for a side. It's just going to be a roll the puck out and go back and forth kind of a game. It wouldn't shock me if first team to 6 or 7 wins this contest.
I mentioned David Riddick. As far as David Riddick starting for the Islanders tonight. Brandon Bussey getting the start here tonight for the Carolina Hurricanes. And our guy right here on screen, David, will be there. He's a Canes season ticket holder. He'll be down at Lenovo for this one. What do you think? Islanders, Canes.
I mean, I'm all over this over with you guys. I posted it on Twitter at 5.5, which was just a crazy opener to me. But I would still take it at 6.5 up to minus 110. The Islanders are an over team now. I mean, they've got 7.2 expected goals per game so far this season. I mean, that's crazy to think about how they were playing a couple of years ago. And without Keandre Miller, the Canes have 8.6 expected goals per game total in those games. Wow. Just on average.
Wow.
I mean, these games are just flying. I mean, we're down our 3 best defensive defensemen. These are pairings that have never played together. Most of these pairings, I think only our top pairing has ever played together. In these bottom 2 they're just mixing in guys they're really not NHL ready. I mean, we saw Fensor's not going tonight, but he just looked horrendous on Tuesday. And I mean, they're just trying to plug the pieces right now. And I think Rod's going to play knowing what we're going to give up. I think that we're going to play a little more aggressively. I mean, Ehlers has to step up. I mean, he doesn't have a shot on goal the last 2 games. I think they know that. And I think that we're going to get a more flying start. And Bussey being in, this is his first home start. I think it might be a little. I mean, his debut was against the Sharks in front of 15 people. I think this might be a little more of a pressure spot, seeing the crowd and how many people are there. I think he's a great talent, and I honestly think he's our future backup. But I really don't think this is a great spot. And I just saw the comment. Sean Walker's in. He's actually a guy I would target if you can get any props on him. But I don't really see anything. He's starting on the power play, and he's a guy I would actually take anytime goal scorer. I haven't checked what the odds move to, but yeah, I think Sean Walker is going to get a lot of ice time. I think Nikishin's going to get a lot of ice time. Chatfield was pretty shaky on Tuesday. I don't know if
I've got Sean Walker on the top pair on their blue line tonight, and I've also see him on their number 1 power play unit. So usage is certainly going to be there for him. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at Nikishin played 28 minutes on Tuesday, so I don't think Rod's afraid to use his best defensive guys. I think he's just gonna throw them out there as much as he can.
And even just to get a point for Sean Walker, it's plus 150. Which is still a pretty good price for that. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that's adjusted for him being on the top power play. I mean, Gostisbehere is out. Slavin, obviously, and Miller. I mean, it's just not – the defensive breakdowns are insane. So, yeah, this is definitely an over I would target. It's my favorite play of the day. Probably not my favorite play of the day at 6.5, but it's definitely something I would still bet.
No doubt. Yeah, as far as props, this is a good game. We should see goals, so a good game to sprinkle on props. Palmieri at plus 260, I like. Horvat, who's gotten off to a good start for the Islanders. You look at the lineup adjustments for the Islanders, we'll have to see how Patrick Waugh adjusts things without Barzal, who's going to be up on that top center spot. I got to go with Emil Heineman for the Islanders, too, with what he's been doing lately, plus 400 in that range for him to score a goal. And then on the Carolina side, Jordan Martinook is streaky. Finally scored the other night. I think Martinook, that line had a good night, plus 650 for him. Stankoven, scoring the last game, plus 300. Like that price with him as far as finding the back of the net. Those two in particular are my favorite. Svechnikov, maybe. Now, you don't get the bargain bin price, plus 250 with Svechnikov, but Svech finally got a goal the other night. And like I said, maybe a little more of a confidence builder for him. No question about that. And talked about Walker. Nikishin's going to be his partner on the top pair, so maybe Nikishin props, something to maybe consider.
Yeah, you can see that Rod's not afraid to play him. He played 28 minutes on Tuesday. I mean, it did help that Nystrom was out for a period and Gostisbehere was out, but I still could see them playing in the 23, 24 minute range.
All right, Pittsburgh and Minnesota. We got Minnesota minus 160, home favorite, 6.5 the total. I'm not a big fan of the Penguins, but they do play well in October. They've gotten off to good starts in the past in October. This is more just, Minnesota playing the way they are at this price. I'm on Pittsburgh, plus 140. And I'm not a big advocate of the Penguins by any stretch of the imagination, but they've won 4 or 5 here in Minnesota. They've had the better of it here in the series history in the last 10 meetings. The Minnesota Wild cannot put both aspects of their game together, both ends of the ice. One night their defense is good, one night it's not. One night they're scoring, one night they're not. That was a game against Winnipeg where I thought they played very well, but like I said, still found a way to lose in overtime to the Jets the other night. Pittsburgh, look, they've been good here in the month of October. Certainly offensively they have. I mean, Crosby's playing so well. Malkin has turned back the clock and had probably the best month of he's had in a very long time. For the Pittsburgh Penguins. Brazeau has been an unexpected offensive source for the Penguins early in the season. Mantha, they finally have the Crosby-Rust combination going. I mean, now the blue line is still a work in progress and still what you're worried about, along with Jari, who's going to get the start in net here tonight for the Penguins. It will be Philip Gustafsson for the Wild. But at this price, with the way Minnesota's going, I just had to I had to bet something here at this price with the Pittsburgh Penguins plus 140. I like this over by Fecta too. I'd maybe wait live in game because I got it at better numbers, but over 1.5 and over 6.5, depending on which number you find. I do think we'll see goals here tonight too with Penguins and Wild. Alex, what do you think here? Pittsburgh, Minnesota.
Yeah, this is a interesting battle. If you were talking about this game at the beginning of the month, you certainly wouldn't think that the Wild would be the struggling team and Pittsburgh being the team that looks like a decent club so far, but that's the case. And I don't see where things clear up for the Wild. Now, series history leans towards Pittsburgh, but I kind of sprinkle a little bit of salt on the last few meetings, right? Especially when you look back last year, it was the grand farewell for Marc-Andre Fleury. So, it was a whole lovey-dovey kind of wine and cheese feel to both games, being in Pittsburgh or St. Paul. And it kind of carried over into the start and into the game. There was a bit of an emotional feel. I don't think any of that's going to be here at all, and it shouldn't be. Okay, you need to throw all of that out the window, especially if you're the Wild. You got to get shit rolling at home and soon and quick. You need goals early, and they've been a first period over team, so that's what I like here. I like first period over 1.5. I got minus $1.20 earlier today. I also like both teams to score here as well. The Wild got to wake the fuck up. I don't know if they will, but they need to do something early and soon because this is getting out of hand.
No doubt they need to win badly. There's no doubt they're 1-4 at home this year. Maybe they need to call it XL Energy Center again. Get this Grand Casino bullshit out of here. Just get rid of it. It should go back to the XL again because you're right, 1-4 at home, not pretty. A bunch of props I like, but we'll get David's thoughts first on this one. David, what do you think? Pittsburgh, Minnesota.
Yeah, this is another one where you probably wouldn't have looked at the season and expected these to be two teams you're looking to target for an over. But I mean, they're just flying. The Penguins are not afraid to let the game fly. Yeah, I got the over 6.5 here at plus 110. I mean, these are both just over teams. The Penguins averaging 6.95 expected goals per 60. The Wild at 6.9. I mean, I think that these are two good high event teams. It's not my favorite play of the day, but I think that this one goes over.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, as far as props, I'll throw up Mantha goal, Brazeau goal, You can't go wrong with Crosby, Malkin right now, but those two in particular, I think, are a little more value in the bargain bin range. Plus 325 on Mantha, 400 on Brazeau. For Minnesota, why not? 3 straight games with a goal for Marcus Johansson, someone that's been in Terry Edelman's doghouse as a Minnesota Wild fan all these years. He's not a big Marcus Johansson fan. Well, give him his credit right now. He scored in 3 straight games for this Minnesota team. So maybe we'll ride the wave there with MJ. No, not that MJ. Marcus Johansson, plus 400 for the Minnesota Wild to find the back of the net. All right, Vancouver and St. Louis. St. Louis minus 150, home favorite, 6 the total in this game. I dabbled in Blues first period puck line, but small, and that's it. I'm kind of frustrated with this team. I'm almost like one of the teams I expected to have a really great year. I'm almost throwing my hands up and saying, what's wrong with this group? They've obviously struggled, but it's not like Vancouver's playing very good. And Vancouver is obviously dealing with a ton of injuries as well. Connor Garland out, Quinn Hughes out, Teddy Bluger out, Philip Hedl out, Derek Forbert out, Niels Oglander out, Jonathan Lekkerimäki out. I mean, it is a mass unit for Vancouver as the injuries and the attrition are mounting significantly on this hockey team right now. And the Blues obviously have key injuries. Robert Thomas and won't you be my neighbor, Jake Neighbors, both out is not a good sign for them either. So I think St. Louis starts strong. They need a good start. They're not going to win this game if they fall behind. They need a good start. And that's the one thing about St. Louis, even in the Detroit game and the Pittsburgh game that they lost earlier this week. The first period was one of their better periods of the game. So at plus 160, I think there's decent value. Blues minus a half. First period puck line plus 160. I'm going to sprinkle on over. Is it 6 still, or is it 5.5? No, there's still some 5.5s out there. DraftKings, FanDuel. This is to me is just 2 desperate teams. Throw everything at you offensively is what I expect. They need the wins desperately. Blues have lost 5 in a row. Vancouver's 1-4 in their last 5 games. But this is just series history. 5 straight overs head to head with the Canucks and the Blues. So for that reason, I'm going to take over in 5.5. It's not my favorite over on the board, but I bet it because of series history and the fact we're getting 5.5 with it. Alex, what do you think here? Canucks Blues.
Yeah, so I like this over by Fecta, and I will look to grab a little bit more of the over 5.5 in game at a better price. But I did grab a little piece at 130 early this morning. I grabbed minus 120 with the over 1.5. And this is one where I'm kind of teetering. I like the series history with the draw, but like I said, St. Louis's form is kind of keeping me away. So I may look for it live if I'm seeing that's kind of a close game if they're trading goals back and forth. But definitely liking the over by Fecta here. This is one where I'm playing it pregame and then adding a little bit more on in-game.
All right, there we go. Good stuff indeed. David, anything here? Canucks and Blues.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect buy spot on the Blues. I mean, they've just had everything possible go against them. Losing OT games, bad goaltending. Not really from Binnington as much, but I think this is a perfect buy spot on the Blues. I mean, they've got I had it written down here. They're 6th in expected goal share at 5-on-5 play this season, which is kind of crazy considering that their actual goal share is 13% lower. So I think they're really due for some positive regression. I think the Canucks are on the other side of that. The Canucks are 31st in expected goal share at 5-on-5 play, and they've scored 10% higher goal share actually than what they're expected. They got some injuries. I think this is a great spot for the Blues. I wouldn't be surprised if they took out some frustration and just smoked them here. I think some alt lines are good here too.
I like Pius Suter's the obvious one, right? He's up the lineup now with some of the injuries. He's a former member of the Vancouver Canucks, now playing with the St. Louis Blues. It's the former player angle, which we often like for player props. So Pius Suter, anytime goal plus 340. If you want to just take his point prop at plus 140, you can do that. I think he gets on the board. And I'm also going to look at someone making their NHL debut. I believe he's going to make his NHL debut. He's been called up from the AHL, where he started off strong with 3 goals down there. Dalibor Dvorsky. Dalibor Dvorsky is his name, and he's going to be on the second line center spot for the St. Louis Blues tonight. And why not? Into the fire, plus 450 to score a goal. You could go plus 205 on him to get a point just to be safer. But why not? Dalibor Dvorsky here for the Blues. They like him. They like this kid. He played good in preseason, training camp. Almost made the team, actually. That's how good he played. But now getting the call up NHL debut for him tonight here for the Blues. So Dalibor Dvorsky will dabble in that for a prop there as well. All right, Chicago, Winnipeg. Winnipeg minus 230, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. By the way, it's Binnington and I believe Demko, but Demko has not been confirmed. No, Lankinen is projected, actually, but it will be Binnington for St. Louis.
Wow.
But yeah, surprising. Yeah, surprising, David. I mentioned that on the show earlier that Adam Foote seems to be running Lankinen quite a bit here early in the season over Demko, which is an interesting call.
Both confirmed at goalie post, by the way.
Okay, so it is a Lankinen.
All right, that would make me honestly I like St. Louis even more. I mean, Demko's posted. I mean, he's saved 10 goals above expected already. Lankinen, we know what he provides, extremely average.
Last year he was good on the road, but again, this year he's not been nearly as not quite what we've saw from him last year. Obviously, Winnipeg minus 230, 5.5 the total in this game. Winnipeg Jets off the 4-3 comeback win in overtime against Minnesota. They did not play great. I cashed a ticket with Winnipeg. I'll take it, but didn't really deserve it. But Alex and I think we're both on Winnipeg. Yeah, that was Alex's best bet on Tuesday for the betcast. We'll take it for sure. But like I said, not the greatest performance from the Jets. We'll see if they can play better. One thing I've noted, and I know David mentioned this just before we started the show when we were talking just a little bit about this game, is Winnipeg's peripheral numbers, advanced numbers, not great. Not great, believe it or not, to begin the year, even though they're 7-3. And you look at their recent form, they've just been a little bit more hit or miss, right? Shut out by Seattle at home, 3-0. They did beat Calgary at home, but then they lose 3-2 to Utah. They get outplayed significantly by Minnesota, even though they won in overtime. So their form has not been as good the last few games, Winnipeg. I think that's fair to say, no question. Meanwhile, Chicago, we saw this team bounce back from the loss to LA, 7-3 win against Ottawa. Obviously, the 5-3-2 start to the year. But I think what stands out to me has been the competitiveness of this Chicago team. They've played 10 games. 9 of the 10 games, they've either won or they've lost by exactly 1 goal. That's what we have seen from Chicago. 9 out of 10 games, they've either won or lost by a goal. Only once in 10 games have they lost by more than a goal. And that was LA Sunday night in 3-1 and an empty net goal that put that game away. So really, you could have kind of considered that a 1-goal game because it was an empty netter for LA that made it a 2-goal game. So you know what? I've cashed with this bet already this year. I'm going back to the well with a Chicago puck line in this game. Chicago plus 1.5, minus 125. I also, this is a draw that I like quite a bit, plus 370 at FanDuel. Blackhawks versus Jets. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have been decided by 1 goal, exactly 1 goal, which fits with my look towards Chicago puck line. And 4 of those last 6 meetings have gone past regulation. So I'm on Chicago plus 1.5, draw plus 370, and I think I will sprinkle just a bit on the money line at plus 200. But I've got the majority of it on the puck line because I could easily see a Winnipeg 1-goal victory here at home. Alex, what do you think here? Blackhawks, Jets.
Yeah, well, I was right on the draw, and I leaned with the dog. I hadn't pulled the trigger on it yet because, like I said, this is one where I could see some money coming back and forth. And like I said, we've seen it gone down to 185, and I've seen it kind of come back up toward the $2 range. So I do like the Hawks, but like I said, now at minus 130, I'm seeing that's available for that 1.5. I probably will take puck line as well. It just makes total sense. Liking the draw, like I said, this has been a heavy draw history, and this is a humongous start of the biggest road trip for the Hawks since 2008. November 2008, Hawks went on a 6-game road trip, not much like this one, and they went 3-3 on that stretch. That stretch propelled them to have what ended up being a fantastic season and the start of that run that led into the next year being the beginning of the Showtime dynasty. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen here, but they have to have that momentum carry over what they've done on home ice, carry on the road. There's been a combined 1-15 the last 2 seasons against the 6 teams they're playing coming up on this trip. And it starts with the Jets, a team that they've been dominated by. But like you said, it's been close games. And when you watched a lot of those games, they were tied or scoreless in the second period and into the third period, and it was a cheap Soderblom goal that Winnipeg would score upon and get a win late in the third or win in overtime. So this is a spot where the Hawks, against the division rival, against the team that has dominated you, they have to really step it up and deliver. So I like the Hawks to at least keep it close and take it to overtime. We are going with the draw. We are going with the puck line. And there's a couple of goal scorers I'll be talking about. Of course, I'm still riding the boat with Frank Nazar, but for my bargain bin special, it's a Hawk who's playing with Winnipeg. If I haven't spoiled the surprise for you already.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at. The angle makes sense. I mean, we know who that is. Cat's out of the bag. Draw season, as you can see, we're wearing the shirt, and so we got the draw here, plus 370 in this one. David, what do you like in here? Chicago, Winnipeg.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Winnipeg's a little overrated at this point. I mean, they are dead last in expected goal share so far this season at 5-on-5, just 43%. They've obviously performed a little better than that. It helps when you have Hellebuck in there, so perform a little better. But pretty much the opposite. It's for the Blackhawks too. I mean, they're scoring far above what they're expected. It helps when you have Knight in there. They're a totally different team with their goaltending situation figured out. I mean, when you're seeing these shots they're taking, you see Bedard with this little toe drag just snipe top corner. I mean, it makes sense why they're outperforming a lot of their analytics. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm on the +2. I got +220 last night, but +200 is good too, and +1.5. I saw somebody comment that 2-2 OT. I mean, it just feels destined that this game's going to end 3-2 one way after overtime.
Yeah.
So
it's not a bad look.
I would love, and I did dabble in the money line, but I got the majority of the amount on the puck line just to be safe. But I'd love a Chicago 3-2 overtime win. That would just be beautiful.
Yes.
That would be phenomenal. That would be
I
great. That would
agree
be
with
one
you.
hell of a profit from this game if that happens. No question.
I think they're a good team to take as a big dog too. I mean, they're just kind of a wild card. Yeah, I mean, they could sit down. They're probably not a team you want. I mean, they're not really a favorite, but they're a good team to take as a long shot to keep it close.
And that's the thing. How long are we going to get the Hawks at +200? They win this game. If they actually start to win on the road and play well on the road like they've been playing at home. I think we talk about this with teams who are short favorites, getting value early in the season when it may not exist later on. We talked about that with Anaheim a couple of games ago. So that's the way you have to kind of look at it with the Hawks too. When they're in this range, you grab them because they could be playing the Jets again in a month, and all of a sudden this is a pick 'em price.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're just going to keep outperforming a lot of their analytics. They don't need to dominate games to be able to score. Even we saw it against Florida early in the season. They ended up losing the game, but they can, even if they're getting dominated, they can find
there's young talent that
counterattacking.
can overcome the flow of play going against them. That all it takes is one or two chances that they can cash in on, and bam, that's all it'll take.
It helps when you got I think he could be maybe not elite right now, but trending up in the future with Spencer Knight.
Absolutely.
We
When
love
you
him.
have
We love
goaltending, it makes a
Spencer Knight.
difference.
Yeah. Big fans, obviously, and he's made a difference, exactly. And he'll be in net tonight, likely in net tonight for Chicago. We fully expect him. Hellebuck confirmed for Winnipeg in this game. Obviously, the Jonathan Taves angle, we know that, obviously, against his old team. Velarde, I think, worth a look for Chicago. Look, it's, Ryan Green with Bedard and Burakovsky. It's plus 175, Jonathan, at Patano for Ryan Green to get a point. So in case that's where I found that. Burakovsky, Nazar, of course. Donato, I've got to sprinkle on with how good he's been. So those are some of the props I'm interested in there. All right, New York Rangers, Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton, minus 155 home favorite. 6 the total in this game. I know John Massey, our resident Ice Guys family member, Rangers fan, is not buying the Rangers after that 2-0 win against Vancouver. He's not sold on them. Vancouver's beaten up. They're struggling. They're injury-riddled. And, yeah, the Rangers finally won that game. But Jonathan Quick was excellent. Let's give him credit. I mean, Vancouver had chances, but Jonathan Quick turned back the hands of time and looked like vintage LA Kings Jonathan Quick in that game. He was magnificent in that 2-0 victory, stopping all 23 shots. Edmonton, after losing back-to-back road games over the weekend against Vancouver and Seattle, they beat Utah 6-3. Bad start, but they overcame it, and they won 6-3 against Utah. The way I kind of see this is if you're Edmonton, you had 2 losses in a row on the road. You haven't really put it all together yet this year. You finally get on in the win column against Utah. Are you really going to be, flat here or lethargic or just say, well, we got our win, we're good? No, you got to try to build some momentum. You got to try to get on a bit of a roll here and put some wins together. And to me, I don't trust the Rangers here. The Rangers have yet to win back-to-back games. Think about that. They haven't won consecutive games yet this year, the New York Rangers. So I like Edmonton here. I don't love the price. I'm going to wait. Maybe I can get a Ranger lead at some point and take Edmonton live at a plus price. I did sprinkle a little bit pregame on Edmonton in regulation, and I don't do many regulation bets, but I did take them in regulation here, plus 102, and I may add more Edmonton if they fall behind at some point. Alex, Rangers, Oilers.
This is the game that got left out of my card. It seems like this has happened a lot with Edmonton, but I got nothing in this one. It's pass.
Nothing wrong with that. David, how about you? New York, Edmonton.
Yeah, I actually got a spot I love here. I love the Rangers tonight. I think it's a great spot. You saw this exact matchup in New York, and you saw just an embarrassing 2-0 loss. And I did have a little bit on the Oilers in that game. So yeah, and it was a 2-0 home loss, and it was pretty embarrassing. But I mean, their expected goals in that game were 4.5 to New York to 1.8 for Edmonton. I think they dominated them a little bit better than the 2-0 scoreline showed. I mean, that was when the Rangers just couldn't find the net at home for their lives. I think the Rangers are due for a little bit of positive regression. They're actually second in even strength expected goal share so far this season. They really haven't shown it, but I mean, you'd expect their results to be a little better, especially when you have an elite goaltender in net. So I like the Rangers a lot as a dog here. I got a plus 145, but I think in market the best is around plus 140 right now. I would take that down to plus 120.
All right, there you go. Liking the Rangers. Hey, I mean, that's what, like I said, that's why I'm on with. Even though I'm on the other side, the Oilers, I'm taking in regulation. I wouldn't lay minus 155. I think if you're going to bet full game money line, it has to be Rangers at this price. But like I said, we'll see about the Rangers here after they haven't won back-to-back. We'll see if they can. A couple by the way, it's Shesterkin and Stuart Skinner in net here for the Edmonton Oilers. And here's a couple props. I mean, Isaac Howard, very talented kid, finally scored in his last game. Maybe looking toward him at a nice price here, plus 550. Mangiapane and Podkolzin and Roslovic always have value as far as props on. And it looks like Will Cooley up to the top line for the Rangers. It's about damn time. But Mike Sullivan giving him a chance on the top line tonight for the Rangers. So Will Cooley at plus 400 to score a goal. I think that might be worth a look here tonight as well. All right, 2 games left. We've got New Jersey and San Jose. New Jersey minus 210, road favorites, 6.5 the total. This is another one of these. There's a ton of these where it's East versus West teams, and they're both playing each other twice in less than a week. We've seen this a bunch early in the season, and we're seeing it again here because San Jose just played them in New Jersey last week, lost 3-1. To the Devils, looking for some redemption. I feel bad for the Sharks for the LA loss because they outplayed, dominated the Kings, shots-wise, chances. Everything that the LA Kings generated seemed to find the back of the net. And whereas San Jose, they just got stymied time and time again in that loss by Darcy Kemper. We'll see how they fare here in this game. Alex Nedeljkovic will be in net for San Jose here tonight. And Jake Allen getting the start for New Jersey in this game tonight as well. And Jake Allen, top cheddar, one of the great follows on Twitter for NHL and NHL betting, and a big Devils fan. He's said it all along, hasn't he, Alex? He just likes Allen more than Markstrom. He just does. And Markstrom, I know he'd been out for a while, but that was not a great return to action after injury for Markstrom the other night against Colorado. Gets lit up by the Avalanche in that game. So Allen, to me right now, you got to believe it. He probably is the better goalie. San Jose still hasn't won a home game. We'll see if they can finally get off the schneid. They're in revenge, but I don't know if I want to fade New Jersey off a blowout loss and to Colorado, and I don't know if I want to fade them with Allen in net, who's been the better of the 2 goalies. So I'm going to look for a live over possibly, because San Jose games, especially at home, have been over machines. But I'm going to look for something live at a little bit of a better number. Tough for me from a side perspective. This is one I haven't bet yet as far as a side. Alex, what do you think here? New Jersey, San Jose?
Usually when we see a team that plays as hot as New Jersey had played, and then they lose that game and end that streak, you tend to kind of see them fall apart.
That's true. I mentioned that. The bubble burst theory. Yep.
And now you're trying to, after having that positive momentum and losing in a tough battle against a Colorado team, a quality team, and now you got to go and play the lowly San Jose Sharks. Give me San Jose here. Plus 185 is the number that I see. I'm taking the Sharks here. I think they get the win. I think they get their first win at home. They're not going to go 0-41 at home. And this just seems like a flat dead spot here for New Jersey to me. So give me the Sharks here on the money line.
Yeah, they had a great win streak. It got snapped in decisive fashion by getting blown out by the Avs, and maybe there's a hangover from there. It's possible. Like I'm definitely not laying minus 210 with Jersey. I can tell you that. But like I said, Allen's been good. Like I said, I don't mind that look, honestly. Maybe San Jose team total. What you should do? Did you bet team total over 2.5 on San Jose or just money?
I haven't, but I probably will look at that and grab a little piece of it just to be safe.
Yeah, because how many of these games are we going to see this year? And David, you chime in if you agree, that where San Jose is going to score 3 goals this season at home, cash their team total over, but still lose the game because they give up 4 or 5.
Yeah. At minus 118. Yeah. Minus 115 to 118. Yeah, I'll add team total along with that money line.
Yeah, San Jose's a team I like to split the money line with the team total over. Yeah. Like perfect example was the LA game. The team total over cashes, they score 3 goals, but they lose. At least you split, with the team total over and the money line. David, what do you like in here? Devils, Sharks.
Yeah, no, I think the Sharks are just an auto over bet team right now, especially with Nedeljkovic in net. I mean, he's horrendous. I mean, he's given up a goal above expected.
He hasn't been good since he had your Carolina Hurricane blue line in front of him. That's the last time he was good.
Oh yeah, yep. And everybody here was so upset when we got rid of him, and it was a blessing. Same thing as Primo. I mean, everybody just overachieved, and I mean, I think the Sharks are a perfect over team right now. I've taken them blindly on not blindly, but semi-blindly on the overs the last few games. I mean, they're putting up goals. They put up 6 a couple times, which I've posted it on Twitter a lot, taking them as a big underdog. I mean, they're in these games, they're going to score. I don't know if I can get behind them tonight with Nedeljkovic in net. He just gives up the softest goals possible. But yeah, I mean, their offense has been humming. They had they lost the game, but I mean, they put up 5.8 expected goals against the Kings. And that's against the Kings, who are a pretty low event team. And I had the Kings in that one and got lucky. But I think taking the Sharks is just the over in the Sharks games is just a great bet right now.
Well, for another thing we have to mention, shame on me for not including this in the analysis. There's so many things in my mind that I want to mention in every game that sometimes it's something you're going to forget. I almost forgot to mention Brett Pesce's injury for the New Jersey Devils on the blue line. That's significant. And the first game without Brett Pesce was in Denver the other night against Colorado. They give up 8 goals. They get lit up like a Christmas tree in October. That's not exactly what you want to see without him. So big loss on the back end. By far their best defenseman, best shutdown defenseman. They got good defensemen, Luke Hughes and Dougie Hamilton. They're not the shutdown guys that Brett Pesce is, and they're going to miss him.
Yeah, and these guys when they're paired, these top guys, when they got a more pure defenseman guy paired with more offensive guys, they don't really know when to drop back. There's a lot more breakdowns. I think the Sharks, I mean, they're very creative. They've been a lot better on the offensive side than I would have thought preseason. They're a good team I want to target as a wild card, and definitely think that they can put up some goals.
The kids are getting better and better, and we're seeing them improve. That where they seem to be kind of stagnant in the second half of last year, and we thought they may take that step, and especially when games completely out of reach as far as standings, nothing matters. It's just all about their development. But now they seem to be stepping up, and that's good for them early. Obviously we know what's going to happen at the end of the season, but that false hope is kind of good for these kids. Let them build on something. Try to get something positive early. You started off rough, carrying over from last season. Now they can start looking at things on a month-to-month basis. And I think that's what we're starting to see, at least as far as their talent development goes.
Yeah, no, good points there, indeed, no doubt. David, how much time do you have? Are you pressed for time? You're not.
No, we got a 7:30 game. I got all the time in the world.
There we go. Okay, no, I just wanted to ask because sometimes when we go late, and especially when we have someone on for the first time, we just want to make sure we get them out if they've got a meeting or something to get to. All right, so you're good for the end of we're going to be done in 15 max anyway. All right, next up, our last game of this card for the Thursday night slate. Detroit Los Angeles. We've got LA minus 145 home favorites, 5.5 the total, pretty much across the board here in this game. I'm on the Red Wings here, and I'm not a big Detroit fan, but I'm taking them here, plus 125 in this spot. This is just LA at prices They won against San Jose. That's the most laughable win you'll ever see the other night for the Kings against San Jose. What were the shots? 42-17, outshot by San Jose.
Yeah.
You know, they hadn't won
you
a
see
home
the expected
game.
goals?
Yeah.
5.8 to 1.6.
That's not shocking. San Jose got, that. I don't want to say hosed because it's not like the refs hosed them, but they got hosed because they deserved to win. They outplayed. They were the better team than the Kings the other night. Not even a debate, not an issue. They were clearly the better team on the ice in that game last game. Deserved a better fate. And now you factor in that they've had 5 games in a row on the road. Back home, first game off a pretty lengthy 5-game road trip. That's a tough spot. And all this talk last year, how great the Kings were at home. This year, they haven't won a home game yet to this point on home ice. Now, again, they're not going to go 0-41 at home, but this is minus 145 with a team that's in a bad spot off a road trip. A situation where they haven't won at home, and Detroit's playing well. Oh, Todd's against is Todd McClellan never faced LA yet since he got canned there, since he joined Detroit, Jonathan? This is the first? Oh, baby. That just makes things even a little sweetens the pot a little bit here for the Detroit Red Wings here in this game a little bit. Yeah, I mean, players know, the Todd McClellan used to be with the Kings, got canned there. No question about that. So, like I said, a little stick it to the man kind of thing going on here for Todd McClellan and his Red Wings here tonight. And yes, it's Cam Talbot in net. And yes, the last time Talbot was in net was that ugly game he had, obviously, where the Islanders ripped him pretty good. But let's not forget he was playing really well before that. 2.98 goals against. The stats are still pretty good so far this season for Talbot, and he's coming off a bad game. What do we say about Talbot? Alex will agree with this. You want Talbot off a bad game sometimes, but you don't want him off a good game. That's often what we see from Cam Talbot. So I'm hoping good Talbot shows up tonight here in L.A. Against the L.A. Kings off the last time we saw him, where it was pretty rough for him against the Islanders. And let's also not forget he was with the Kings. This is another guy facing his former team. He was with the Kings a couple of years ago, Cam Talbot as well. So Detroit's playing good hockey too. Look at the one back-to-back games. The last 2 beat St. Louis in their last game. They've won 3 of 4 against L.A. 3 of the last 4 meetings the Red Wings have won. So I like Detroit at this price, and a real tough spot for the Kings. Detroit for me, plus 125. Alex, what do you think here, Red Wings Kings?
So I like this over bifecta, and this is one, like I said, play pieces small and then add on more and get better prices in game. And I would lean with Detroit. I do like that angle of McClellan going against LA. And Talbot, I'm not really crazy about him going up against his old teams. There's about 8 of them, so that he's not one of those guys where I really think there's a revenge angle necessarily with any of his former clubs. Although, to be fair, he's played a lot against LA, 14-11 with a 2.76 goals against, a 912 save percentage, and a shutout in 27 career starts. So I would maybe look for Detroit live, but I want to see form first. Like I said, LA hasn't played well at home. Getting home off of the road trip, you want to see what they're looking like the first 5 minutes or so. But this is certainly not a price you can back them pregame. It's hard to justify laying 140 with them against a lot of teams. But Talbot still a bit shaky. Definitely think we could see some goals here. So more with the over bifecta than looking at a side. But if I had to play a side, would lean with the dog.
All right, and I lean over too. I do. I might dabble in it, but certainly on Detroit here. Like this price, like this spot here for the Red Wings in this one. David, what do you think here? Detroit, LA.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think this is a good spot to fade the Kings. I mean, they looked rough in that Sharks game. I mean, they just got obliterated. I got lucky. I've had a pretty good read on both these teams. Had the Kings a couple nights ago, got pretty lucky there. But the Kings are actually dead last in expected goal share overall this season, which is pretty surprising because they're usually a very good analytical team. Yeah, I mean, this against a pretty bad schedule so far. I mean, their last 5 games are the Sharks, Blackhawks, Preds, Stars, and Blues, and I mean they won 4 of those 5, but I can't say they looked as good as that record was. They've lost expected goals in 9 of their last 10. I I saw the question about what is an expected goal share. It's expected goals for plus, or it's expected goals for divided by the total expected goals in the game.
Yeah, it's not XG minus XGA. It was exactly what David just said. Yeah,
right.
It's a good question though.
I think it's a good question. Yeah. I think it's a pretty good measure of how good teams are. Especially, I mean, the Kings are usually a team I like to buy. I was betting them a lot last year. I think this is a really good spot to fade them. I mean, the Red Wings are 6th in expected goal share at 5-on-5. I mean, I don't know if they're that good of a team, but I think this is a great spot to bet them as a dog.
All right, good stuff. David liking Detroit too. As far as props, Emmett Finney going to go back to the well as long as he stays up there with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond on the top line. There's good value with him. Appleton maybe as well on the second line for the Red Wings. Like I said, he's also stepped up at times this year for them. I got to bet Corey Perry for LA. Even though I like the Red Wings in the game, you have to bet Corey Perry here. He has scored in now 60% since he's been in the lineup for LA since he returned and made his Kings debut. And you're getting, plus 450 in some spots for Corey Perry to find the back of the net. Excuse me, find the back of the net here for the Kings. So very good price there as far as that goes for the LA Kings. Kuzmenko and LaFerriere, based on their position in the lineup, excuse me, might be worth a look as well. So those are a couple of the props I'm interested in. Great stuff. David, this was one hell of a debut, man. Great stuff. Really, really well done. Analysis very strong. And whether you agree with it or not, you want analysis that, you get something from it. You learn something from it. And he certainly gave you that here on the show today. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, check out wizardsportspicks.com. I mean, it's just been a brilliant run at the website. 7-0 NHL run, 9-1 all sports run. NFL college football streak's been great. Check out, premium picks on a daily basis from yours truly there. Alex P. Smith, Matt Robinson, tons of great handicappers. Check it out, wizardsportspicks.com. Make sure you're a Patreon member if you're not already. Patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, bonus content, exclusive live betcasts. David couldn't join us for the last betcast, but he's in for one of the future betcasts. He mentioned it earlier, so he'll be on our betcast down the road. Make sure you check that out. Of course, our daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. Check it out. Just $10 per month. Your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show. $10 per month. Patreon.com/Ice Guys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Starting after midnight tonight, you'll be able to save 20% off of all items this weekend. And it'll go through until November 2nd. So don't want to miss out on
this
one.
Weekend.
That's right. We got the draw season merch. We've got the Get Franked t-shirts. We've got new bargain bin merch that will be coming up this weekend as well. So that will drop sometime either tomorrow or Saturday, and you'll be able to save 20% off, like I said, throughout the weekend there. Hit the redeem button at the top of the page there. Starting at Mr. Midnight tonight. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, we got bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsor.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Please for yourself with my mouth is no Kings and Queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis Shop, Royal Cannabis at royalcannabisshop.com. Promo code Ice Guys, get 20% off there with that. All right, bargain bin special of the night. Lots to choose from. 11 games. Alex, bargain bin special. What do you got?
Yeah, we're going to that Chicago-Winnipeg game, and it will be emotional for a lot of Hawks fans watching, as they will see a familiar face on the other side. That's, of course, number 19, Jonathan Toews, the longtime captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, finally playing against his old club for the first time. You can get his anytime goal scorer plus 350 at FanDuel. I'm taking a shot there with Jonathan Toews. He will always be the captain. He's just not our captain anymore. But Jonathan Toews of the Winnipeg Jets, anytime goal scorer plus 350, my bargain bin special tonight.
Yeah, I'll be betting that too. Why not? The angle makes sense. Facing the Blackhawks for the first time back in the NHL now with the Jets. Jonathan Toews, Captain Serious for Winnipeg, plus 350 for bargain bin special tonight for Alex. All right, David, this is your grand debut with the bargain bin special segment. What do you got for us?
Yeah, one I like a lot is. Can I do two of them?
Yeah, I give two all the time. Go for it.
All right, sweet. One I like a lot is Alexander Nikishin, anytime goal scorer for the Canes. He's 850 at DraftKings. He's going to get a lot of ice time. He just got boosted to the second power play, quarterbacking it. He's been shooting. He's probably going to play 23 to 25 minutes tonight with everybody out. He's been stepping up a lot into the O zone, playing more offensively as a D-man. So I think there's a good chance that he gets on the score sheet tonight. And one other that I like is Andrei Svechnikov, power play point. We played that. I don't know if you got on that with me in the last game, but it only took 2 seconds.
Yeah,
it only took 2 seconds of power play time, which is all the Canes got in that game, unfortunately. But I think after Rod Brindamore's comments after that game, Canes only getting 2 seconds of power play time against Vegas. I think they might give him a few more power play looks. I don't love it as much without Gossespierre power play quarterback, but I think Svech just looked determined on Tuesday. He looked like a different player, got his aggression back. So I think him for a power play point at plus 400 is a good bet.
All right, there we go. I like it. Both of them. Andrei Svechnikov, power play point plus 400. Alexander Nikishin. I'm even seeing plus 1050 at one book, but plus 850 at DraftKings for him to score a goal. So a couple of Canes player props for David with his bargain bin specials of the night. Bargain bin special for me of the night. I am going to go to two from the same game and one for each team. I'm going to go Calgary, Ottawa. Morgan Frost for Calgary, plus 390 up on that top line. He scored on the top line the other night against Toronto. And yes, I am giving Nick Cousins another kick at the can here, plus 620 for Ottawa. So Nick Cousins plus 620 for Ottawa, Morgan Frost for Calgary, plus 390 for my two bargain bin specials of the night. All right, best bets to wrap up the show. Alex, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, let's head on over to Grand Casino Arena. We've got the Pittsburgh Penguins hitting into town against the Minnesota Wild. And like I said, Wild got to wake up and get something going. They need to get the offense rolling. It's been high with the first period overs. I am expecting 2 or more goals in this first from the Penguins and the Wild.
All right, I think it's Pittsburgh and Minnesota. We got a couple of just connection issues there, but we got the gist of it there from Alex. First period over, 1.5 with Pittsburgh and Minnesota for Alex with his best bet. David, your best bet debut now. What do you like?
Yeah, I was going to go with the Islanders Canes over, but we've kind of seen where that price has moved and Barzal being out. But so I'm going to have to pivot to the Blues playing against Lankinen in place of Demko. I just think it's a great spot for them. They're gonna be due for some positive regression. They're playing a little better than what their results have said. I think it's the exact opposite for the Canucks. I mean, missing Quinn Hughes. I mean, they're down a good amount of guys. So yeah, I think this is the spot that the Blues bounce back at home.
All right, St. Louis minus. I think the best price is around minus 144 that I see right now with St. Louis. So St. Louis Minus 144 against Vancouver for David with his best bet. My best bet, we're going to the last game we talked about. Detroit Red Wings. I think they're live tonight against the LA Kings in this spot. Tough spot for the Kings. Red Wings have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. Detroit plus 135 against LA for my best bet here for this Thursday NHL card. Great show. David, awesome first appearance on the live show. Anything you want to say before we shut her down?
Yeah, I post a lot of plays for free on X. At,
promote your
David
stuff.
C.
Go
Bets.
for it. Plug it.
Yeah, so far in the season, plus 60 units, plus 11% ROI overall, and plus 16% on moneyline sides. So that's through 220 plays.
Pretty good. It's pretty good results. It was a slow start for me. David was saying it was a slow start for him, but we're all in great form right now. We're getting it going after maybe a little bit of a sluggish start. So great to see that. It's been a great run, no question about that. And David will be back on this show, on the live show. Yeah. Make no mistake about it. Did a great job here in his debut. And enjoy the Isles and Canes game, of course, tonight down there in Raleigh at the Lenovo Center. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For David C., Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we will be back tomorrow on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.